3 things that are going to help you in your first pro fight. Now, number 1, this is a mistake I made preparing for my junior rules Muay Thai fights. I thought there was absolutely no way that I would get tired in these fights. I was running 50, 60 kilometers a week. I would spar 7, 8, 9, 10 3-minute rounds on the bounce. I would hit the bag for 30 minutes non-stop. I would get to classes early, like 25 minutes early, just to jump rope for an extra 25 minutes. I thought I'd done so much work in it, there's no way I would get into the ring and be tired in minute and a half rounds. Yet, those first fights were the most tired I'd ever been in my life at that point, because I hadn't really matched the intensity of what I was going to do. Make sure that a lot of the rounds you do for your specific preparation are the same length as your fight. Even get a lot of positional goals or even shorter, trying to be more intense. As well, when you're doing your cardio, those big runs, they're pretty good. But as you get closer to the fight, you kind of want to mimic the intensity. You're never going to truly mimic the intensity of someone trying to take your chin off and you're trying to take their chin off. But you can go a little bit to it. You can push hard miles on the assault bike, just 2 minutes all out. You can do interval training as hard as you can. But, get that balance. And as you get closer to the fight, try and match that intensity. Because it's not just the physical adaptations to that higher intensity. It's the mental adaptations of just being used to having your lungs blowing out and your muscles fucking sore as shit off of really hard work. Number 2, I'm starting to get into some technical advice. If there's a chance to slow the fight down, if there's a chance to clinch, especially early when they're fresh, fucking take it. If you can clinch, even if it's a weaker clinch position like double overhooks, and you can hang on their arms and make them a little bit tired, take a little bit of the pop off their shots, especially because that's their first fight as well. They're going to be going crazy. You can take a lot out of them without actually much going on. If you can just keep your bearings in the clinch, hang on their arms, pump their arms up, when you get out the clinch, you should really notice a lot of power gone away from their shots. Their arms are going to be pumped up full of blood. They're going to be moving heavy. It's going to take a lot of the sting off their shots, so you can actually open up with your combinations a bit easier. So long as you stay as relaxed as you can in the clinch. Obviously not so relaxed that you're just going to get flung on the floor, but if you can stay relaxed, hang on their arms whilst they're using all their energy. A lot of the times they'll throw knees, but if they're just hitting you in the hip, a lot of people, especially at that first fight level, won't be kneeing very good. If they're kneeing you in the hip, just let them do it. Let them burn that energy for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, if you can end up in that clinch. If they're throwing so many shots and you can't see it because they're going all out and you're not used to that fight feeling, grabbing the clinch and try and just slow it down. That's a chance for you to get your breath whilst they're just blowing out of their lungs using their effort. If you can slow it down, do it. I remember in my fight with Lucas Capera, a really strong wrestler, he shot in and he was clinching. He threw some really hard shots before he shot in for that takedown. He shot in and I spent about 2 minutes trying to defend it in the most relaxed way possible. We broke and there was about 60% taken off his shots. If you can slow the fight down with a clinch, do it. And number 3 is, I don't know if you're an orthodox fighter, but if you're an orthodox fighter against another orthodox fighter, use the lead hand. Use your lead hand. The camera's flipped, so it might be this one. But use the lead hand. I remember my brother, he made this observation whilst coaching beginner to winner kickboxing fights. You know, that kind of thing. They'd take someone with no to little experience and someone else with no little experience, and they'd build them up through a training camp and then make them fight. And the money would possibly go to a charity, maybe. Who knows? But the thing he noticed most is that everyone wanted to throw the right hand. It's your dominant hand in most cases. Everyone's trying to throw this right hand. But the people who just sprinkled that left hook in a little bit more and finished their combinations with the lead hand had a lot more success and got a lot more finishes. So my 3 bits of advice is try and match the intensity of the fight with your cardio, whether that's hill sprints, especially getting close to the fight, whether that's hill sprints, assault bike miles, hard intervals, rounds of wrestling, sparring, whatever it is. They're actually a bit shorter than your fight length. Get into them because you want to get used to that really high intensity, not just physically but mentally. Number 2 is, if you can slow it down in the clinch, if you can slow it down in the position on the ground and let them burn their energy, do it, because they'll be going crazy. They'll have no idea how fatigued they're going to be by going crazy with their body locks or whatever it is. If they're chilling and you recognize that they're chilling and not using a lot of energy, you're probably going to have to work too. But if you can slow it down, they're using a lot of energy, slow it down. Number 3, use that lead hand. Get junk. Close the door on the combinations with that left hook or straight shot.